Hello folks, this video is a quick update on what I've been working on. More or less just been collecting gear for the Animate Guardian of Smiting build that I've been working on, and just collecting the pieces of Exodia. So I finally got my level 21 Animate Guardian of Smiting, and so now I can finally outfit the Guardian. So I just want to go over the choices of like what I found and crafted and why, and later on I'll make a video showcasing like what the build can do. For now, this is just like a quick introduction to the gear that the Animate Guardian will be wearing. So I decided to go with the Cane of Kulemak. The reason I decided this was because the Cane of Kulemak has an interesting line that says 70% increase unveiled modifier magnitudes. So you can get kind of like higher amounts of things than you could normally get. Specifically, you can get attacks with this weapon penetrate 25% of Ellie res, and you've got also a 34% increase attack speed roll. So those two rolls on their own are enough to make this staff good for our purposes. And then on top of that, it also has 221% increased phys damage. So this is a pretty significant amount of DPS, sitting at around 295 DPS. I didn't even have to pay too much for this staff. I only paid 20C for this staff, although I think it's probably worth a little bit more than that. This particular one too also has the blind enemies on hit, which is really convenient. Just help with a little bit of defense. Alright, then I've got Legacy of Fury for the Scorch effect and applying Scorch to nearby enemies. And then it also has 37% chance when you kill a Scorched enemy to burn each surrounding enemy for 4 seconds. I think this should work. Normally this doesn't work on the Animate Guardian because you're not getting the kills with the Animate Guardian, but on this build you will, so I assume that this will work. Even if it doesn't matter. I'm only using it for the Scorch anyway. I've got a corrupted one here with some spell suppress on it for a little bit more added defense. Alright, Growth Cools is pretty standard. I've got one with increased damage corrupt on it. Now the gloves took a little bit of finagling to get like exactly what I wanted on there. So first thing that I wanted to make sure I got the non-Val skills have the extra strike. I'm not 100% sure that this is going to work on the Animate Guardian. So Animate Guardian of Smiting uses Smite of Divine Judgment. Now the way I think that this works is it is tagged as a strike skill, but Animate Guardian itself is not an attack, and so you can't put Ancestral Call on it, or at least what I've seen, it doesn't work. So I'm hoping that I get an extra strike here with these gauntlets, and that might be the only way to get it. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I'll kind of come back and make an update later on once I get it on there and I get some testing on the go. But that was the main idea. Then a little bit of global accuracy rating is great. Flat accuracy rating is great. Some flat damage. But I also wanted to get melee strike range because it's not easy to get this stat on minions. And for the same purposes of the non-Val strike skills target one additional enemy, the reason it's on here is just to make the like hitting of the Animate Guardian a little bit more fluid. That's another reason, by the way, that I decided to choose the two-hander as opposed to a one-hander, is because I do feel like the more range that you have, the more fluid and the more reactive the smite seems to be. I feel like with the one-handers, it doesn't really work as well. Okay, and then the last thing on here that's really important is the increased life regeneration rate, because that helps amplify the heals from the Growth Cools. Alright, and then the last thing, I have a Devoto's Devotion with Cannot Be Blinded. This is just for a little bit of utility for the Cannot Be Blinded, and then the attack speed, chaos res, and movement speed are all really nice for the Animate Guardian of Smiting. Could have had a Crown of the Tyrant here, but they're 10 div, and I just want to make sure that this is all like set up and good, and it's not going to die randomly before I put that on there. I have the cash to do it, I just would rather put, this is like a 5C unique, so just for the testing phase I'll keep this on here, and if it works out well then I'll put the 10 div into it later on down the road, but for now this is just for testing. Yep, I'll make another follow-up video soon. Maybe I'll even throw some footage at the end of this video with this setup on here. Right now this character is only level 77. I do have a 6 link. I have the +2 stock minion gems, and I do have the 21 gem now, so I think that Animate Guardian should be tanky enough to survive and do some decent damage. So I'll leave that there, and if I have some good footage, I'll stick it at the end of this video. Thanks, peace. A few moments later. Alright, welcome back. So, I set up the Animate Guardian, did a few maps just to kind of like level it up to the point where it's like functional. I've got the Animate Guardian of Smiting now with Elemental Focus, Minion Speed, LE Damage, Multi-Strike, Minion Damage. This I'll probably swap out for something else later. It's probably not the best option, but it's just good enough for now. Yeah, the Animate Guardian's got all the gear that I was just showing in the previous part. And I'm level 84, and I still don't have my Cluster Jewel, so there's still a lot of damage left to get in this build. But I'll show a random T16 map just so you guys can kind of like get an idea of where the damage is at right now. Again, still lots of damage left to get, but feeling pretty smooth. I'm just gonna skip the Wildwood for now, just so we can just kill the stuff in the map. Wildwood gets everything like super tanky. It's kind of hard to tell like what's going on sometimes with the build. Hard to tell if it's like your build or just the Wildwood being cracked. Alright, so as we can see here, the Animate Guardian is lighting things up. Animate Guardian is the only thing in this build that's actually doing damage outside of the Sentinel Radiance. And I haven't been scaling the Sentinel Radiance with life and whatnot, just like general life you would get on a normal minion build, so the vast majority of the damage is coming from the Animate Guardian. Smiting. That's pretty nuts. I mean, it's able to do T16, level 84. Yeah, feels pretty good. The minion, like, life is totally fine. I'm not having trouble with it dying. And I'm running Flesh Offering, so if it was, like, getting close to dying, I could also run the more defensive option. But as of right now, I don't feel like I need it. I feel like I'm just happy with the extra damage, movement speed, and whatnot I get from Flesh Offering. Oh shit. And Abyssal Depths. Well, I wasn't planning on this in the video, but let's go ahead and do it, just to see where this build's at. I think I might just stick this in life for the time being. So I got 5k life, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I've got a lot of block chance. I've got a Jinxed Juju. And then the Sentinel of Radiance takes some of the damage for me as well. So 30% of the damage is not going through to my health. And then on top of that, I've got Mind Over Matter, and I've got Petrified Blood. So this is a very defensive setup, I would say. You could have a more like map-friendly offensive setup if you wanted to. But I don't feel like it's totally necessary. The main things that have been killing me are degens, and I need to like figure that out. I think I'm going to get a Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh combo. Oh, this guy's going down decently fast. This is a monster level 84. Honestly, this isn't that bad. Like, all considering. It's just kind of like a scuffed Animate Guardian build. He's already, like, able to take down this guy. I don't have quite as much damage in here as my Ballista build does, but Then again, that build is level 95 and is much more geared than this build is. I'm pretty happy with this right now. The level that this is at. Yeah, Animate Guardian's health is not moving at all. And this guy, ooh, better not stand in that. This guy has got some pretty decent damage too. So that's a good sign. I feel like this is the kind of boss that if I had Ellie Pin instead of attack and cast speed, this would go down a lot quicker. I also don't have Predator. That's another option I was thinking about. That way I can have it focus things a little bit better. Although I feel like the Animate Guardian, now that I've got the extra strike, is focusing things decently. Jesus, those rares just melt. This is almost in cull range. Yep, there it is. Alright folks, I decided to throw in a little bit of extra footage there because that last map was a bit unusual with the boss fight in it. But this is a Caldera map, and it's a bit more of a linear map, which showcases the build a little bit better, I think. I'm going to make a full build guide for this at some point. I just have to get my cluster jewels and my gear all set up, and then I'll try out a couple of different setups and see what works best. At some point too, I'd like to try out the poison version of this with a pneumatic dagger. That was kind of like my idea for a league start, but I've never ended up doing it because I ended up abandoning this build at the very beginning of the league. I actually tried league starting this, but it was like absolutely miserable. So I would say like the pros and cons, like one big pro of this build is that it's like really cool and fun to play around, but a big con is that it requires a lot of specific gear, and it's not very new league friendly. So I guess it's not now at the point where it's like not so much league start. So I guess I can recommend trying it out. I think I actually would recommend trying it this league because I feel like this league, it's like the easiest league of all time to like make currency. So if there's ever a league for making it a weird expensive build, then this is the league to do it, right? But yeah, I'll leave that there. I'll leave this map on so you can kind of just like see the progress of the build so far and how it clears through a map. But yeah, that's all for today. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and Happy New Year. Have a great one, guys.